The Alex household was a picture of affluence and order. Mrs. Alex, a successful businesswoman, juggled her boutique empire with managing her home. To ease the pressure, she hired Amara, a young, soft-spoken girl from the village, to help around the house. Amara was everything a house help should be: polite, hardworking, and efficient. But beneath her meek interior lay ambition and cunning. Amara, make sure my husband has his dinner by 7 p.m. Mrs. Alex instructed before leaving for a business meeting. Yes, ma, Amara replied with a small bow. As she watched her madam leave, a faint smirk tugged at her lips. Mr. Alex, a charismatic man in his late 40s, often felt neglected by his wife's demanding schedule. Amara seized every opportunity to fill the void. One evening, as she served him dinner, she said, Sir, you work so hard. You deserve someone who will truly take care of you. He chuckled. That is why I have my wife, Amara. But is she ever around? She asked innocently, her eyes wide with concern. Her words lingered in his mind over time. He began to look forward to their interactions, the compliments, the soft laughter, the way she seems to understand him. One night, with Mrs. Alex away on a business trip, Amara knocked on Mr. Alex's study door. Sir, I brought you tea, she said, stepping inside. Thank you, Amara, he replied, barely looking up. But as she placed the cup on the table, her hand brushes his. Sorry, sir, she murmured, but her lingering gaze said otherwise. The moment escalated quickly. A touch turned into a kiss, and a kiss turned into a betrayal that neither could undo. Mrs. Alice began noticing changes. Her husband was unusually cheerful, and Amara grew bolder. The final straw came when she overheard Amara on the phone. No, I can't leave now. He will be upset if I'm not around when he gets home, Amara said, her voice dripping with affection. That night, Mrs. Alice confronted her husband. Darling, are you cheating on me? He tried to deny it, but his stammering confirmed her worst fears. Determined to confront Amara, Mrs. Alice called her into the living room. Amara, pack your things and leave my house, she ordered. But Amara stood her ground. With all due respect, ma'am, I'm not going anywhere, she said, her tone defiant. Oga loves me, and if you can't accept that, maybe you should be the one to leave. Mrs. Alex's shock turned to rage. You wretched girl, you dare speak to me like this in my own house? After everything I have done for you. Amara didn't flinch. I didn't ask for your help. And now you have a choice. Leave this house or stay and watch us get married. Alex stepped in, trying to defuse the situation. Darling, please, let's handle this calmly. Calmly? Mrs. Alex screamed. I brought this snake into our home, and now she's trying to replace me. Amara, unfazed, interjected. Sir, you don't need to tolerate this disrespect. You deserve better. Better? Mrs. Alex snapped. You think you are better than me? I'm not the one who abandoned her husband for her career, Amara said. Mrs. Alex refused to leave. Instead, she demanded a family meeting, inviting elders from both sides to intervene. Amara boldly attended the meeting, dressed as if she were already the lady of the house. This girl has bewitched you, Alex, one elder said. Leave my family alone, Mrs. Alex pleaded, tears streaming down her face. But Amara stood her ground. Love is not witchcraft. If he didn't want me, he wouldn't be with me. The elder, shocked by her audacity, urged Mr. Alex to make a decision. Alex's decision scattered his marriage. He chose Amara, believing she was his escape from years of feeling neglected. Mrs. Alex left the house, her dignity intact, but her heart broken. Months later, Alex and Amara got married, but their union was far from blissful. Alex, why haven't you bought me the new car you promised? Amara demanded one morning. Do you think money grows on trees? He snapped. You didn't say that when you were spoiling your ex-wife, she said. Their argument grew frequent, and Alex began to regret his decision. One lonely evening, Alex picked up his phone and dialed his ex-wife's number. Titi, as he always called her. Please, can we talk? He pleaded when she answered. There is nothing to talk about, Alex, she replied coldly. Please, I know I hurt you, but I have realized my mistake. I miss you, Titi. I miss us. After much persuasion, she agreed to meet him. The cafe where Alex and his ex-wife met was quiet, the kind of place where emotions could spill without fear of judgment. Alex sat at the corner table, wringing his hands, rehearsing his apology to his head. When his wife arrived, she carried herself with a grace that reminded him of the woman he had fallen in love with years ago. At the cave, Alex poured out his heart. Titi, I destroyed our family for nothing. Amara was never what I thought she was. I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I need you to know I'm sorry. His first wife leaned back, her arms crossed. You are sorry, Alex. You broke me. You humiliated me. You betrayed everything we built together. Do you even understand the depth of the pain you caused me? The sleepless night, the shame. I do, Alex said, his voice cracking. Every day since you left, I have felt the weight of what I did. Please, let me make it up to you. Let me prove I can be the man you deserve. Mrs. Alex didn't agree immediately. Forgiveness isn't a switch I can flip, Alex. If I even consider giving you another chance, it will be on my term. I will do whatever it takes, he promised. They started with small steps. Alex attended therapy section to address the underlying issues that led to his infidelity. Titi, though hesitant, agreed to join him for a few sessions. During one session, the therapist asked, Alex, what made you feel disconnected from your wife? It wasn't her fault, Alex admitted. I felt overlooked, but instead of communicating, I sought validation elsewhere. It was selfish and unfair. The therapist turned to his ex-wife. How does that make you feel? Angry, she said honestly, but also relieved that he's finally taking responsibilities. As they walked through the issues, Alex began to show genuine remorse through his actions. He prioritized his wife, actively helping with her business and spending quality time with her. When Amara discovered Alex was reconciling with his ex-wife, she confronted him. You are going back to her? After everything we've been through? She screamed. Everything we've been through, Alex shouts back. You destroyed my family, Amara. And now, I see you for who you really are. A selfish, manipulative lie. Amara's confidence crumbled. With no choice but to leave, she packed her belongings and disappeared. Months later, Alex invited his ex-wife to dinner at the restaurant where they had celebrated their first wedding anniversary. I know it's still a long road ahead, Alex said as they sat down, but I want you to know that every day I will work to be a better man for you, for us. Titi smiled faintly. You are starting to feel like the Alex I married. Alex reached across the table and took her hand. Thank you for not giving up on me, even when I gave you every reason to. Rebuilding their marriage wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt, anger, and lingering pain. But there were also moments of laughter, understanding, and newfound intimacy. One evening, as they sat together on the couch, Titi leaned her head on Alex's shoulder. Do you remember the vows we made on our wedding day? She asked. For better or worse, he recited, his voice filled with emotion. I failed you, Titi, but I promised you I would never fail you again. You've come a long way, she admitted, and so have I. Maybe this time we will get it right. Years later, the Alexis household was filled with warmth and love again. Mrs. Alex's business flourished, and Alex became her greatest supporter, proving his loyalty every day. One afternoon, as they hosted a family gathering, Alex looked at Titi and whispered, Thank you for giving me a second chance. You have saved me a way I can never repay. She smiled, her heart at peace. We saved each other. True reconciliations required effort, honest and patient from both parties. Many problems in relationship stem from a lack of communication. Addressing issues early can prevent irreparable damage. While it's not always possible or easy, forgiveness can pave the way for growth and healing. Thank you for watching this story. What moral lesson would you pick out from the story? Share this story to your loved ones. Like, share, and give it a thumbs up. Please do wait to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not done so. Stay tuned as more stories will be coming your way. Merry Christmas. Bye.